Hey, this is Terra Invicta, and this is, I believe, episode 117.
Let me check.
We're here. Dun, 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 dun.
I was going to do it, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to resisting it.
And we are here to do probably the last episode of Terra Invicta we'll do for a little bit here, at least until after Seth is well and married. We'll figure out what
That's so weird. This is so weird to say.
Since right now he is unwell and unmarried.
Unwell and unmarried, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. With the stress, I do feel a little unwell.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, between the stress and your wrist and...
Don't remind me. Their physical therapist today was like, yeah, you might need to get a cortisone shot if it's not feeling better the week before your wedding. So that's fun.
Very good.
So if you see me at the... Sorry. Good.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just gonna say, we'll figure out what we're gonna do in the meantime if we want to do anything in particular. But for now, we're gonna kind of wrap up our little arc of Terra Invicta here. It'll still be season 11 when we come back, but this will be a good session to kind of to be a good midpoint, I think, for this and to talk. This will mostly be a roleplay session. I don't imagine there'll be any combat today. It'll mostly just be chatting about various things with lots of NPCs. You guys are going to go visit the Court of Stars and talk with the gods. The main things on the agenda today are going to be touching base with the gods in general, touching base with them specifically about the plan to fight Demogorgon, right? Because you do need to, like, in theory, they're allies by default, but you haven't actually talked to them about it yet. And then primarily the last thing that happened was that Anna kind of turned into the Lady of Pursuit fully and finally, right? She has, and it's not, I think there is a distinction to make here. And the distinction is, she is still Anna, right? She didn't burn off her mortal coil entirely or whatever. Cause I think we had talked a few sessions ago about that being a danger of, like, if Audryn was to use her power to do, to try to, like, power the reverse Savage Tide or whatever it was, right? That was one thing he would have to work out, is how to do that without burning up her soul and, like, basically shedding, because there's a duality to Anna right now. She is still Anna, but she also is the Lady of Pursuit. It is actually manifested. And we have mechanics now to signify this. There is the danger that Anna will be no more, and that the Lady of Pursuit will be the only thing that's left. And Emily is free to share as much as she wants about her newfound abilities and her boons and flaws that we have assigned her.
What flaws?
Nothing. Yeah. Anna has that, or Emily has the document. She knows what the Lady of Pursuit can do.
Anna's new abilities consist entirely of her moving 5 feet per round faster.
Little bit faster. I thought you were going to say just 5 feet per round. She's really slow now.
She's extra slow, and there are no benefits.
Mm-hmm,
it was a downgrade.
But that'll be a thing that but we can follow up on that as well this session, right? Like the Lady of Pursuit stuff. Going to the Court of Gods, of course, means that you're going to at least be able to talk to Prudence, right? Sophia, the goddess of wisdom and the moon, but also one of the ladies, right? The Lady of Prudence. So that will undoubtedly be part of our session today. And any other conversations you guys want to have with whoever might be there in the Court of Stars, up for grabs. I don't know how directly we pick up our session past the dramatic revelation of Anna's true form last time. Totally up to you guys. But the next thing would be going to the Court of Stars after you're done with the genies, because you are done with the genies now. You've done everything you need to do there. So yeah, up to you guys. What do you go immediately there? Is that where we pick up? Do you have anything you want to do in the meantime? Do you want to pick up directly after the magical girl transformation and have a conversation about it? That's also a possibility. I figured we were cutting from that, but totally up to you.
So I now have 1 out of 3 Sailor Scouts.
Yeah.
That are, I'm like moving from Audryn's Angels to Audryn's Sailor Scouts.
Audryn's Ladies.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that one. And then again, I wasn't a huge fan of Audrey's Angels in the first place.
I mean, let's be real. Audrin's Ladies is a million times better than the Ladies of P.
Magic
that?
P ladies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the even worse version. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do we pick up?
Okay. My brain has gone here, and I'm not going to be able to think of anything until I move on from this.
Okay.
What is the Greek? Is there a Greek letter for P? Like, A is alpha.
Phi?
It'd be,
Is it
yeah, I
pink?
think
Phi?
Phi.
So, Magic Phi ladies? The ladies of Phi?
That sounds much better. It kind of reminds me of
Ooh.
Wi-Fi.
Which makes me think of the Pro ZD skit.
Okay, we need to go on because my...
I guess my question is there anything that you need to do in the meantime before you arrive at the Quarter Stars?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of.
Cool. Yeah. You have the Sea Wyvern has the ability to go to the Soul Realm at will. It doesn't have the ability to go to Shadowfell at will, but I believe that Deli can cast Plane Shift at the very least. And I think, did you guys? I'm pretty sure you guys got like the all the specific like tuning forks at the very least to the plane proper. Whether or not it's yeah.
That sounds right. Oh, and we're waiting for the next. We would have waited for the next day too, right?
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. I've got spell slots saved for that. I can do that.
Yeah.
Were we gonna do something
I assume so.
about? I feel like there was some point we were talking about doing something that would modify my attunement slots.
Yes.
The reason I'm asking and bringing it up now is because of the Amulet of the Plains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember where we left off with that. I'm pretty sure you made a roll or something. I think there was something there. I know you were working on it with Ronan. And then I'm pretty sure you had some sort of breakthrough just recently. Who did you talk to?
Well, we did something because I modified some item or something.
Yeah. I don't remember. I have a very vivid memory that something important happened. But that's as far as it goes. It's very surface level.
Oh, it was that I figured out a way to like turn magic items on and off. So I could be attuned to.
Yeah.
That sounds
right.
more like a made RPG mechanic.
I mean, Audrin is best made.
Never mind, that was a bad joke.
There was definitely something there, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. What do you want to do right now? Why did you think of that?
Well, I thought of it because I have the Amulet of the Plains, and I can't use it partially because I can't attune to it.
Oh, I remember. It was you could suppress the effects of a magic item when you weren't needing the effect.
Right.
So that you could attune to multiple items at a time, but only have the effect active, and you could like switch them at will, basically, like free action.
So I can already use the Amulet of the Plains because we already decided, because we already figured that out with that.
I don't remember what exactly it was that brought you to that conclusion. I think it might have been at the genies, or may have been directly before. I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. I know. I remember what it was that you can do now.
Yeah. Specifically, I could turn off like the Rapier of Warning, and then.
Which, slightly dangerous, but I suppose everybody has, most of the other people have abilities that allow them to not be surprised by things anyway. So,
well, I mean, it's like I turn it off, and then I use the amulet of the planes to plane shift, and then I
And then you
turn
turn
the
it back
amulet of planes off, and then the other. Yeah,
It's just a weakness. It's a vulnerability that I can now exploit.
it is. And
I think we
like,
talked about this last time about
Yeah,
how like
yeah.
I would have to be very prepared to immediately strike on that.
You wouldn't have to be prepared. You could
pretty
roll
much-
a random encounter.
What I mean is like none of the NPCs or monsters that would know that you have this vulnerability, right? So
Yeah.
they couldn't exploit it. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's easy enough. And if I remember correctly, plane shift can do like 9 people because it's like 8, including the 8 plus the person who's casting it,
That sounds correct.
which I think is pretty much everybody of your group right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. But yes, you have 7 people you need to transport. So yeah, you're fine there. That's easy enough. I could have sworn that you had a tuning fork to the Court of Stars at some point. I don't know.
Let me check what we have.
Yeah.
We have a tuning fork to the Feywild, Shadowfell, Soul Realm, and Pazunia.
Okay, so maybe you don't have one specifically to the Court of Stars. I know that the way you got there last time was we had the candle and opened up a portal straight there.
Right.
So probably your best bet is to plane shift into the Shadowfell and then go to the Court of Stars from there. I'm not particularly interested in playing that out, and I'm pretty sure that you are high enough level characters that it would be easy enough to just go. Let's just say the genies have one. You can just buy one. Or like one of the Bitter Curtain people could just show up and help you do it. Right? It's not really that important. But yeah, I think you guys arrive at the Court of Stars. Here's a quick question. Anna, you have the ability to concentrate and hide the fact that you are this kind of like taller, godlike, kind of slightly more beautiful, perfect version of yourself. That kind of like reveals you as a lady. Are you doing that right now?
I don't think I would be if I'm going to the Court of Stars.
Okay. Well,
I would like to be one of the stars.
Of course. Did you do that at any point leading up to this moment? Is this like you going like particularly revealing it intentionally as you go to the Court of Stars, and you were like shoving it down before?
I mean, I feel like I don't think I would have like tried to be like hiding it. How long did we say we were taking to get here?
I mean, at the very least,
rested?
it's been a night of rest, and then the next day you're doing this.
I mean, if we're not like going through any populated places and it's just us, then I wouldn't hide it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And you're probably taking some time to get used to it too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe I'm like trying to figure out like, oh, I can suppress it and not be a glow stick if I really try hard.
Yeah. And the main differences are basically just that you kind of glow. You are just, again, like a slightly taller, more beautiful, kind of perfect angelic sort of version of yourself. Whether or not this is like your final form, probably not true, right? There's probably some more, because like we know that Anna is not. I guess you don't know this. We don't know if Anna, the person, always has looked like the original lady has always looked, or if Anna, the person, has been like this mortal, pair of clothes that this lady of pursuit has put on, and so far you're manifesting as an Anna-like appearance simply because of that fact. You haven't had Anna stripped away from you yet, so you don't know for sure like what the answer is there. You could be something else, something more, not like monstrous, but like I don't know if it's necessarily that you always looked like Anna. We'll find out. But either way,
I will say too, when I'm revealed in my glow stick form, I feel like my hair does do a fun magical girl thing where it's like perfectly like styled in a fun way, and it constantly is like kind of blowing as if it's like blowing in a light breeze to make it look really cool.
Yep. Like you're always in the middle of pursuing someone.
Yeah.
Cool. Seth, do you have the date that we last had
We haven't tracked the date for a while, so I was going to say that earlier.
I'm pretty sure we knew what day it was when all the genie stuff was happening, but we spent several sessions at the genie thing.
I don't think we did. I think
Would you mind flipping back? Yeah.
I can, yes. But no, the thing I was going to mention earlier is because the amount of... We never established how long it took to travel to the Genie Synod. That's the problem. I
don't think it took long. I think it was just part of a day.
I'm just going to start flipping through. There's July 15th. There's July 16th is when we plane shifted back to Calabar.
Yep. I don't think a lot of time has passed since then.
The 17th, we were at the Isle of Dread.
Yep.
Yeah, the last thing I have is that we were going to travel to Ataromi, but you didn't give us how long it took.
Yes, and I think Ataromi was the name of the genie city.
Yes. So how long did it take us to travel there?
So was this on the 17th you wrote this?
The 17th, I have written down, keep fighting, Benedict and others show up, we defeat them and clear out their fortress. That was the
the snakes, the snake fortress. Yeah.
So how long did it take us from go to there to the Genie Synod?
Let's round up our time here and just say that it is now the 20th.
So then that was the 19th.
So the 20th is when you arrive at the Quarter Stars. But yeah, cool.
I'm just going to make all the others the 19th in case this comes up again.
Mm-hmm.
So it is July 20th.
And you arrive at the Quarter Stars. One of the first things we see is that Anna is this kind of like angelic version of herself. But all of you are kind of stepping from this portal, and I believe that I described last time the Quarter Stars kind of looks like slightly, Mesoamerican architecture in theme, and but it's like sitting in this kind of blackness, right? It is at the very least maybe I didn't say Mesoamerican. Because obviously Miggy and Ari put this together. I don't think there's actually any. There's no Tlacanoly gods. Anyway, so but it's like I was imagining kind of like I guess it's Spanish then it would probably be, but this kind of bright stonework, right? And it's like a bright city. There's lots of gardens. It's a garden city, and it's sitting smack dab in the blackness of the Shadowfell, right? But like this kind of bright city. Above you can see stars. It seems like an effect more than actual stars that you're seeing, but. It's Quarter Stars. You can't have it without seeing stars. And I believe we said on like the four corners of the city, there is like a stone platform where this teleportation happens. So you arrive at one of these. People tend to come and go from these like giant teleportation circles that surround the city known as the Quarter Stars. Again, it's very full of life, imported from the Feywild by Ari, and it's the Garden City. And where before, it was busy the last time you were here, but now it's busy. There are dragons flying around, mostly void dragons. There are angels flying around now, right? These angels that you freed from Demogorgon's prison. There's all sorts of servants of the Court of Stars, of the various Pantheon's gods, going to and fro on various business, going into teleportation circles and heading off, going to meet each other, preparing for whatever's going to come next. So you find yourself kind of in the middle of this busy celestial city, in the middle of a kind of like a sea of blackness. And you're pretty quickly met once again by, I believe his current name is called Ayal. It's Buck as a void dragon, right? He arrives and greets you because he was the one who greeted you last time. And quickly, you guys are ushered to the court. Did you have anything you wanted to do before you arrive at like the council chambers themselves?
I definitely want to put on my best suit for going to court.
Yeah. You didn't get a parking ticket or anything. So War Council. Think War Council instead of.
So I want to put on my best breastplate.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have any of those. I'm a fighter.
Yeah, you don't need it. yeah, I mean, we're all seeing this in montage, right? You guys are ushered to the court, and we see the gathered pantheon. As a reminder, we have Mikhail, formerly known as Pepe Mikhail Ponzio, the god of death. In this dark, everyone is looking more warlike, right? I don't know if they're all wearing armor necessarily, but they seem a little bit sharper, a little bit more kind of utilitarian. They're not wearing like all fancy, courtly clothing. Everything's a little bit more prim and not prim, a little bit more sharp and utilitarian. We see Mikhail. We see Araya, the formerly known as Ari, the goddess of life. And of course, we see their children, Esh, god of fire, and Maya, the goddess of water. We see Madoc, the god of chaos. We see Bodin, the god of animals. We see Hungerban, the god of the forests. I'm pretty sure that's everyone except for Sophia, the goddess of wisdom and the moon. And they're probably talking to... I think to one side of Prudence, we see a woman with silver hair and a blindfold over her eyes. And instinctively, Anna, that this is the Lady of Providence. And she is kind of sitting next to Sophia. She doesn't seem... it doesn't look like she has an aspect, right? She's not a god in the same way that that Prudence is. But she's kind of sitting in on this meeting right now. But they're talking to, I think... Varelion, I think is the name of the angel that was the kind of noble, kind of classical archetypal angel that you freed from the divided Zyre. And he is kind of giving like a report of the angelic hosts, right? Like, here's how many we have. Here's how many more we were able to rescue from various parts of the multiverse as we've been preparing this army for like to attack Demogorgon. And of course, all eyes turn to you immediately as you are ushered in by this giant void dragon. And again, I think I described last time that all of the buildings and like archways and things, there's no real doors, it's just archways everywhere. And all the buildings are big enough that like these dragons can come and go as they wish, right? And without having to go into humanoid form. So. Yeah.
Giving my very best Miss America wave on the way in.
Yes, we are everybody. The famed heroes. Yes.
Like the weird twisty one.
Yep. I'm trying to think if there's any other of the NPCs that would be here. I know like of like the people you freed from the Wells of Darkness mainly. Because Jiro went back to the Isle of Dread to help his people there. And we kind of just left everybody else, I think, in Calabar, right? I think it was kind of where everybody ended up, like Lirith and Tabby and them. I think though that Conrad is here. Right. He was a servant. He's a servant of Mikhail, right? So for whatever reason, he has found his way here. That he probably was sent for in some way, shape, or form. Through the Order of the Bitter Curtain or whatever. He seems to be here nearby, but not like part of the council yet. He's not in this conversation currently. But everybody turns to you, certainly. And I do think we also see Solmorak, the other angel that was part of the host that you gathered from Divided Zyre. This guy was the more kind of like vengeful, angry angel. He's standing off to the side, listening to this with like a tension. It's not like he necessarily is. It's more like he's rearing to go. Right, he wants to stop waiting around and talking, and he's getting a little antsy. It looks like. But and I believe both of them were planetars, if I remember correctly. Whatever the highest level of angel, I believe it was. I believe that's planetar. They're kind of like large, blue-skinned, bald angels. But yeah, that's what you see. And then they all turn to you, and Mikhail obviously says, "Welcome. We were expecting your visit. I think there's much to discuss. We have been making our preparations, but we would hear yours."
Where to begin?
Yeah, and Varelion takes a step to the side to allow you to like approach the dais and speak.
Audrin gives a, respectful bow.
Yep.
Obviously.
Right away, Prudence and Providence are fixed on you, Anna.
I was about to say right away. I think I just kind of like try and like slither. I try and like sneak over there while being a giant glow stick of like clearly I'm going over there.
Sounds good. Yeah. Oh, you know who else is here? I think your mentor is here, Deli. I was wondering where she ended up, and I think this makes the most sense. She was reconnecting with
Lavrella?
Lavrella. I think Lavrella is here as well. I think she is probably near Madoc, probably.
Makes sense. When you said mentor, I was like, but he died.
Not that guy, not that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's who she thinks of as her mentor.
Sure. Your current mentor, not your former mentor.
Yes.
But yeah, what do you say, Audrey? Ash gives a warm smile and like a nod to you, Takewee.
I think Audrin says something like, well, it's probably pretty hard to hide any of the preparations that we've made so far. A lot of them probably seem very apparent here in this room, and he just kind of glances around at everything.
Yeah. One thing I think let's say Anna probably notices this more because she has a really good insight. Anna, you notice that all of the gods seem like very energetic. They seem just maybe not in the same way that Solmorak is. They're not antsy necessarily, but they seem invigorated. They're you would think maybe that they would be weary or burdened by like all the crazy things that are happening, but you see this kind of like they're standing pretty straight. They seem like fuller, like all their like color schemes are like fuller than you noticed before. I'm not sure it's super noticeable, but you have like a ridiculously high insight, so.
We gave all the gods ADHD.
I mean, you gave him more power, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it's just that you're looking for it, or maybe there's some lady sense that you're digging into that you aren't doing it, doing consciously, but you can tell that there's something different. But I mean, obviously they do know something about your plans, Audrin, but this would be the time to like really hash it out. And we don't necessarily need to do it in character too, if you just want to like basically like say, I give them the basics and then we start hashing things out.
Yeah, I think Audrin lays out. Here's like let's kind of briefly recap everything that's happened since the last time we were here.
Yep.
And if you have any questions that need any additional details, let me fill you in on them.
What do you focus on? Are you mainly just talking about the plan? And like your preparations for the plan so far? Do you go right to the thing like about the pantheon of gods? Like we just killed a giant god body thing?
Well, I think I start with the plan and then I mention, and on our way to like doing these things and are trying to help the Genie Synod, we discovered this and killed a ungodly god amalgamation.
Yeah, they start talking to each other in muttered whispers, and Mikhail says, yes, as soon as you did this thing, all of us knew. We knew exactly what had happened and what it meant for us.
I don't suppose that, well, Audrin's a smart guy. Can I do an intelligence check to see if Audrin's maybe thought of negative implications of what might have happened with that power? Like because before when Takewee crushed the head, Takewee crushing the head meant that evil flesh kraken got juiced up.
True.
So that power didn't all.
There are other things besides the Pantheon that might benefit from this. Yeah, I think you should go and make an Arcana check. I'll tell you what you can guess.
Arcana check. Arcana. Need to roll my Arcana. Oh dear. Please load character sheet. Okay. Arcana.
Nice. If you want to do Flash of Genius, I'll tell you more.
I'll do Flash of Genius.
Okay, so
42.
I would like to say that there's a conversation that's had here, right? You are obviously guessing some of this at the beginning, but then you start asking some questions, right? And talking more about like what happened here and connecting it back to the thing that happened with this, with the artifact and everything. And it's not so much that Mickey tells you this. I think he is being sort of. It's unclear to you whether or not he just doesn't know the implications, or whether he knows them and he's hiding them from you, or at the very least not telling you because he doesn't know for sure and doesn't want to like worry you unnecessarily. There's something going on here. But the picture that Audryn gets here through this conversation is that yes, there are definitely other consequences to this. And the first of which is that let me see, how do I break this down for you? Let me look at my notes. Just let me tell you two in rap. Mickey just starts rapping.
Honey, give me a sick beat.
Well, no, obviously we go to Buck because he has a SoundCloud.
Oh, yeah. Buck's the SoundCloud rapper. I forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Buck, hit it.
Exactly. We prepared a little something for you. No,
where's Conrad? We should say hit it, Conrad.
Yeah. I'm just looking at my notes really quick to remember this. Yes. Okay. Okay. I think the general picture that you get is that, I mean, you already knew that what's really happening is that the aspects are being manipulated when any of these things happen, right? When the artifact was destroyed, the gods, the Igbaye Pantheon's souls, or maybe their minds, one or the other, that were they had sacrificed those and put them in this artifact to keep away the devourers in the Underdark below the Isle of Dread, right? They did that. And when that was destroyed and their souls like rejoined the wheel, right? Like when they went to the soul realm or whatever latent power from the aspects that went in there with them was returned back to the aspects. And anything connected to the aspects was affected, is the word I'm looking for. Was affected. So the Pantheon was obviously juiced up. But anything else that was also connected to the aspects was juiced up as well. Now, you think this is only gods or former gods, right? That's the only people that would have like connections to these aspects. But apparently there's like it doesn't have to be people who are currently holding aspects. It's just anyone who has in the past as well. And so, that's why the body of the body Kraken, right, got affected as well, because all of these dead Hindu gods that were apparently still connected to these aspects, that were still around in body form, in the same way that the Igbaye Pantheon was around in like soul form or whatever, they also got affected. And then killing them also did the same thing, right? Like, it keeps doing things to the aspects, right? They're all, I mean, let's be real, like there's been thousands of years of history in this setting. Lots of different people have held the aspects over time. Not all of them have been completely relinquished from them. And so there's just lots of messiness to to like godhood in the setting that is affecting other things. Now, the thing that you can see, like, obviously the conclusion could be there might still be old gods out there. We don't have all the aspects. That's the first thing, right? Is that this pantheon of gods, the Court of Stars, does not have the full array of aspects, right? There are plenty more that don't have gods right now. And they seem pretty confident that they have all the ones that are like readily available, right? That were just around. They went and searched them out and made sure they had them all, right? And there are still others that there's still several possibilities that are concerning here. One is that there could be old gods that never died, that still either have a full aspect or are still connected to the aspect in some way. And the other concerning possibility, which you think Mikhail shies away from, but you can catch as you're filling in context here. There's also the possibility that there are new gods, right? That there are people who are currently holding them that are not just old gods from forever ago in hibernation or whatever, but just people who have found new aspects and are out there somewhere doing something, who knows what, and the Pantheon hasn't been able to find them yet, right? And you can see that the Council of Gods is worried about that possibility, but they don't know how to make it more plain to them, right? They don't know how to search these people if they exist out. They're obviously being hidden from them somehow. They also are concerned because they noticed, let's see, I think it's probably Madoc, who has been noticing a concerning development related to Demogorgon. He did some kind of like arcane god studies, and he found that there's something in Demogorgon's realm that is also being juiced up by these events. Something has changed in Demogorgon's realm. Madoc thinks it could be perhaps Demogorgon himself, but he doesn't know for sure, right? Now, Audrin, that Demogorgon pretended to be one of the A Pantheon. I don't know if it's ever been said out loud or like confirmed in any way that Demogorgon himself holds an aspect of divinity. But it's starting to look like that's a startling possibility. And it's possible that I did confirm that some time past long ago. We played a lot of sessions of this campaign. But it seems pretty clear to you now, Audrin, that is a likely possibility. And one of the reasons that, that the Pantheon of Gods here can't just all show up to Demogorgon's realm and start kicking butt is because it seems like he might have aspects there's obviously the possibility of the Devourers too, right? There's the Zergoth, the devouring hunger that Demogorgon has been in league with, and that's obviously the bigger threat that the Pantheon of Gods wants to make sure they don't accidentally set off something they can't control or make themselves vulnerable to far realm stuff, right? But there's also the significant possibility that Demogorgon has power far beyond what he should have as a demon lord. And what both of these events have accomplished is, powering up or affecting the aspects in some way. And not all of them are visible to the Pantheon themselves, right? They're worried about the possibility that things have been happening behind the scenes with other aspects of divinity that they do not have access to, that are going to be, whether or not they're problems like now, they might be problems in the future. So there's a conversation there. There's lots of arcane minutia that we would have to dig through to actually like play that out properly. But I think Audrin and Mikhail have a conversation. The Council of Gods pipes in, and you start hashing those possibilities out. But again, you can see that the gods are hesitant to really like talk directly about it because you can tell they're worried about it. And they don't want to make you worried about it. They're like, that's not something we need to deal with. Like, it's not going to be.
And with my godlike intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm probably saying things that they're like, how does he?
He gets it.
He's one of us for real.
Yes, he's just like me.
Okay, I have two questions that these might not be Audrin questions. These might be Jordan questions out of character. What happened to the flesh tunnels in Terra Nullius? Because if those are still around, I feel like that probably just got powered up too. And I don't know what that means.
I don't think they are. I'm pretty sure that we had a scene where Quetzalcoatl died and was like ushered into the afterlife. And I think that happened after the flesh tunnels were just destroyed. I don't recall exactly how that happened. I think it has something to do with your verdict characters and what they were doing on the island or something like that. But I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought we did like a whole like side thing where we like destroyed the tunnels.
Yeah, I don't remember how. I think you did. I think it was what you guys did there. I don't remember exactly how it went down, but I'm pretty sure I remember vividly having a scene where he died. So I don't think that the flesh tunnels are an issue anymore, right? The issue was that they had tried to resurrect him, and he was resurrected, but like in a weird, terrible way, right?
Okay, so that was one. The other thing is, how does this work? Does this change anything with magic items that have been created by the Pantheon?
Maybe
Because
not
there
as
might because if magic items are imbued with soul magic and
or some other form of magic, but yeah.
or some other form of magic, and there is this like energy that's coming into the Pantheon that like like some of the aspect is being fueled into the. I'm just wondering if there are magic items that also might.
Undoubtedly, there have been magic items that the gods have had hands in creating. Now, I think the effect on them would be minor unless it was something akin to like the One Ring, where like they had poured a giant amount of their force and power into it intentionally. That might be affected by this, but probably not just like minor magic items that their clerics made or that they had a hand in to help, like Dust Crusher, for example. I don't think Dust Crusher was affected by what happened either times. Unless it by virtue of just Esh himself being powered up, right? I think the chain of events mostly petered out by the time it got to Dust Crusher.
Yeah. Okay. Also, what does the Court of Stars say about my son?
Your son?
Yeah.
Surge, right?
Yeah.
I have to be honest. Immediately my mind went to, are you talking about like, because I remember like Miggy had a secret son or Akashi. Yeah, like there was a bunch of stuff there that I was like, what? That was anyway.
No.
Which secret son are you talking about? Yeah.
No. The secret son that Audrey had before the campaign.
Did you message me a long time that I forgot?
Do you remember it was in my original backstory? I have a son that I don't remember.
Yeah, the Red Queen had a son, gave him up for adoption. It was this whole thing. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
No. Yeah, Surge. That's a good question. I guess this is the first time that they've
encountered an entire new race of one.
Yeah. And I guess like Surge and Benedict and Nestor have never been to the Court of Stars before either. So that's obviously a thing that's happening as well. Yeah, that's a good question. Now, one of the things that I think is interesting about this, I'm thinking through the roster of gods to see who would have had a particular opinion about this. I can't think of any of the gods in particular that would be like, oh, I'm interested to learn more about Surge.
Not even the goddess of life.
That is the only person I can think of, but I feel like Ari, as a like personality, isn't as interested in the mechanical fiddly bits of something like that. She might note it. She would definitely notice it, right? She would know like, oh, there's some soul here. Like that's interesting. But like, there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if Ari. I don't think Ari pays that much attention to it, or she just at least doesn't bring it up. Now, one thing I was thinking of too is I know we talked, Jordan, about the possibility of Audrin maybe. There's an order, a law aspect out there somewhere, and that was thrown around at one point. When they're having this giant conversation about aspects, right? Would Audrin think to be like, are there any other aspects out there that like we know about, or are we just not really bother with that? Not that you are specifically searching out divinity per se, but just I
mean, I feel like Audrin's curiosity would probably just go there, just wanting to know about it, but also, Audrin would probably ask, are there other aspects out there that we know of that are out there? That one, are there any out there? Two, are there any out there that could specifically maybe help us in the upcoming conflict?
Yeah. I think specifically what we can do is see if I can find my notes on this again. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Who I just remembered might be here. That wasn't before. Well, let's say she's not here right now, but I think technically you also know of one other god that is soon to join the Pantheon, and that is Sarotany, the Phoenix, right? Who was given, what was it, volcanoes or something? Elemental stuff. I need to figure out exactly how she fits into this, because she was like, basically she was given the whatever was left over of Njoku-ji, the Yam fire god. We had the whole Yam idol, and like the fire elemental was pretending to be him. What's his face? Git set up Sarotany to feed off of whatever aspect was still there. And I think there's something going on there. I don't remember how far along it's gotten. Obviously, Esh is the god of fire, so I think he's gotten most of that. I don't know if there's maybe Sarotany just becomes his servant, his like primary servant. That might make more sense. Because I think that obviously the very direct analogy would be she becomes a god of fire, but we already have one of those, so that's probably what it is. I don't think she's here though. I just remembered that though. I think what Mikhail tells you that they know of, right, is that it primarily has to do with the aspects that were kind of like shaken loose when the Igbaye pantheon passed. The body kraken thing was less. It may have shaken up things similarly, but they think it was less potent and didn't like open up any new ones that they know about. It just kind of affected them all kind of equally, right? Because it was technically the whole Hindu pantheon, right, all at once. And they probably all only had a little connection still to it, right? So it was just like the whole system got shaken up a little bit, but not enough to like open up another aspect. But the ones that were opened up in particular by the Igbaye, or here, I'll go through it. So they know that, let's see, what gods do we have? Yeah, forests. Okay. There's still the aspect of the earth that is kind of in limbo a little bit here. They think that there is some. They think there might be some old god that still has connection to that elemental part, that hasn't yet like died or been awakened or something. So they don't have full access to that. Pongerban is like the god of the forests, and that's like connected there. That's like similar. But like the earth itself, that element is not. They can tell it's out there somewhere, but they haven't been able to access it. And it got shaken up for sure when the Igbaye pantheon passed. The primarily justice, thunder, lightning, sky, that kind of general. I think it's mostly justice and like the air, right, and like storms and everything related to it. Those are the two big ones that were opened up. They definitely sensed them open up, and they couldn't grab them. They closed almost, like the access to them closed almost as quickly as they opened up, and they don't know exactly what happened there. That was Amadio Ha, the like lizard-headed god of the Igbaye pantheon. Emily or Anna currently has a staff of that's connected to him. The like judgment from on high, right? Justice and thunder, that sort of thing. And then obviously fire got powered up, water got powered up, but those were already accessed. And the main other one is one that they could sense get powered up, but not wasn't available to them at any point during this process. And it was like, trying to think, probably like greed or trade or wealth or something like that. Those are the ones they know about that were like jostled around intentionally when the Igbaye pantheon passed. And that's that they've gotten the clearest picture of what is happening from that event. So if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to ask them.
Would everything, like with the, are some of the aspects hidden?
You think so? Maybe.
Would, like, with what we did, would that make some of the ones that were hidden like flare up, or like possible to find, or like easier to find? than they were before?
Possibly. The Pantheon has been busy, so they haven't been able to necessarily look
Go look around.
through every nook and cranny, right?
Is there an aspect of time?
Of course there is.
Do they know where it is?
I don't think so.
Can Audrin make an intelligence check?
I have a feeling I know what guess you're making here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what would Audrin guess?
A certain member of a certain leader of a certain guild of sorts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't suppose he has
I think you mean him.
Yeah, but saying I don't suppose him has
That's his name. His name is him.
Him.
He has no other name.
He's just a Powerpuff Girls villain. I don't suppose him has the aspect.
It's an interesting guess. I don't know if Audrin can confirm it with his current knowledge.
Audrin might ask. Okay, so Audrin would know that there is an aspect of time.
Yeah, I think like it's clear enough that like any aspect of like the natural world, the human world, virtues, like any of the normal kind of spheres that you would expect a god to have control over in our world, right? Like from all the various like mythologies. There's likely one of those around, right? And usually, like they can be split, right? You can have a god of volcanoes and a god of forges, and then they can be combined again, and it's just the god of fire. That's actually what happened with Esh. Is he like they had volcanoes from Kamazats at the end of Terra Nullius, and they found the rest of the pieces that make up the fire in totality, and managed to put them back together.
Okay. So, actually, does Audrin even know that him is like a time person?
Yeah, he's a chronomancer.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah. I think Audrin would probably just ask. He might ask this to Miggy maybe to the Court of Stars in like a more hushed tone. I don't suppose they understand the language of shoes over telephone poles. Telephone lines.
Who? Mikhail?
Anybody in the Pantheon here.
Mikhail was a rogue, so yes, actually.
Okay.
Miggy was explicitly a rogue in our campaign.
As soon as you grab a telephone wire out of your pocket, he goes, Are you about to throw some
Let's
shoes?
go some sneakers. So I think Audrin might just.
And of course, it's the Dungeons and Dragons world, so like, of course, everyone has the same exact thieves' cant, no matter where you are, for some reason.
Yeah, I think Audrin pulls out a little bit of thieves' cant and basically tells Miggy, do you know anything about the aspect of time right now? Where it might be?
He says no.
And then Audrin, in thieves' cant, says, could it be him? Or could part of it be with him?
He says, we have considered the possibility before, but there is something different about him. Something beyond what an aspect of divinity would account for.
Something beyond an aspect of divinity, like what? We have the ladies of pursuit. Do we have man?
He said he doesn't know.
I think Audrin says something like gentlemen of power, like the ladies of power, or
he says, I don't think so, because that's kind of what the Devourers are. Is like the kind of the if we're talking about like a yin and yang duality here, the ladies. Well, no, you might be right, because there's evil ladies too. I was gonna say that they're like good and evil, but that's actually not the case, because there's a lady for every alignment. Yeah. He says honestly, that's the only thing that could make sense, right? Is if he's connected in the same way to some
You're
eldritch
ruining
thing
it with
beyond.
men.
Yeah, he seems. I think he says Sophia has said that it's not. It can't be the same thing. There are no 9 men. That's not what this is. But he might be something weirder than a god. But again, he's like, we don't know. But the fact that we don't know is evidence that it might be far realm stuff, because that's usually the things we don't know about.
Okay. Well, I don't think I have anything else. Is there an aspect of tinkering or intelligence?
I'm trying to find my list I had at one point here.
Aspect of underwater basket weaving.
and that's the trick too, is sometimes they can be split, right? I'm gonna see if I can find my list of all the big ones. Okay, I think it's clear enough to the Pantheon that they know what the aspects are. There are 27 of them. Light, darkness, sky, sun, moon, storms/weather, earth, nature, fertility, water, fire, time, chaos, order, underworld/death, hunting, harvest/plenty, wealth/trade, war/conflict, protection/guardianship, love/compassion, justice, craftsmanship, healing, wisdom, fate, and I guess trickery. Yeah, is the last one. I need to double check to make sure this is actually confirmed, but I think I found my list again.
Okay. All right.
Saying the one aspect made me think of the kissing men. Yeah, the fertility one or whatever.
But again, these can be split up further, so there's no guarantee you'll find all of them like this. But if you were to break them down, there's probably a way that you could combine them further. But this is probably the high level list of it makes sense that there would be a god of each one of these, and that would be a pretty high level without combining multiple of them together and starting to overlap, or starting to what I'm trying to say is this is probably the easiest, the most easy mutually exclusive list.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you're not gonna have fire and fertility combine.
Yeah, typically they wouldn't combine. They would just stay 2 different aspects, right? And you would have both.
The aspect of fire and fertility is the mix of that is the aspect of STDs.
Oh no, Seth. But yes, I guess fertility on this list too would be life, right? That would actually probably be a better all-encompassing name for it. That's what Ara has.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, time is on this list. Okay. Yeah. I think this makes sense.
Do they know where craft is?
I don't think so.
It's usually in the macaroni aisle. Sorry, let's continue. Let's keep going here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they probably have leads on various of these, right? Things they haven't looked into yet, but technically are threads that could lead that direction. But we're talking about in the realms of godhood here, right? So it's a tiny little sliver of a chance that they would have to use the godlike powers to ferret out, right? We're talking about epic cosmological stuff that is apparently hidden from their sight, and they have to really dig into. So. But yeah, I mean, I think the conversation probably goes naturally there to what is the role of the gods in this upcoming conflict? Because I think one of the things they say is because of these dangers, because of the devourers, because of whether or not Demogorgon has an aspect of divinity, because of apparently there's other aspects out there that might be held by someone that we cannot see. They are very hesitant to just directly attack Gaping Maw, right? They probably could, but it would open them up and the aspects themselves up to something attacking them and them not being ready for it. And they don't know what to be ready for, so they don't want to try that. So they're going to do a more let our agents handle this sort of, which, you know, is typically how gods in campaigns goes anyway. But yeah, there's like cosmological reasons they don't want to just like go kick down Demogorgon's door themselves.
Are they? So they're basically planning on sending out their legions and armies.
Yeah, I mean the angels themselves are like the biggest there, and they've been able to gather more. It sounds like so. Those are the big armies that they're sending your way.
But they'll still have defenses here.
Yeah, I mean the Void Dragons are probably going to stay here to defend the Court of Stars.
Okay.
Because I mean, also if you fail, which is technically still a possibility, then we have a Savage Tide that is destroying the world on our hands, and then they need to be ready to try to play damage control as much as they can after that happens, right?
Yeah.
They can't be tied up in it in a way that's going to jeopardize them or their servants.
I think Audrin would explain his plan about a reverse Savage Tide.
Yeah. Madoc seems especially interested. Araya probably seems interested because, you know, you're basically doing like a reverse. You're giving them life instead of death. You're giving them, you're doing, the Radiant Seed is what you've called the kind of reverse Shadow Pearls here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely something there. It is probably Madoc who is the most interested and is starting to help you workshop like things. He's like, okay, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? And he's probably poking a couple of holes in your plans here, for how exactly it needs to be done. And now remind me, the Reverse Savage Tide was going to fix the Tieflings and going to fix obviously the Shadow Pearl threat itself. In theory, it should also harm Demogorgon, which would allow you to then attack and kill him. Because the non-reversed Savage Tide would power him up, in theory, right? His plan, I believe you know, is to meld himself together, make him not have two heads, instead have one mind that is going to be more powerful and like can actually control itself and like do stuff that he wants to do, right? He's constantly divided. So it should have a reverse effect if you reverse it. Which would allow you to then attack and kill him. And that is, of course, the thing that will have to happen at the end of this is you need to destroy Demogorgon, right? You have to end him. Now, remind me if... I know we've gone through this a couple times now. Remind me what the other endgame things were. I think those are the main ones, right? Because the other stuff is like stuff that needs to lead up to that, or that, like, getting the lieutenants off the board so that you can do all of those things, I believe. The only other like thing was just the Warforged as a race and the UNT as a race. But those are kind of slightly separated out from the main thrust of like attack Demogorgon plan.
Right. I think Audrin, I'm not sure if I've talked to you about this. I think I've talked to you about this already. Audrin would mention another idea that he has. Our plan is basically to, like, with the Reverse Savage Tide, like, okay, so Demogorgon's trying to use the Savage Tide to merge himself and make himself whole so he can be more effective.
And if he apparently has an aspect of divinity, it might be that he is having a hard time being a god proper because of this fact, right? Like, two minds are trying to wield this power at once, and if he gets control of himself, then maybe he can do deific things in a way that he wasn't able to before.
So with the Radiant Seed, that would make it more difficult for him if we can reverse the Savage Tide. And
because it would probably divide him more, or at least like weaken him, and you could attack him. Yeah.
My other thought is, what if we can... Okay, so this is when Audrin would bring up the swords that are trying to fight each other.
Yep.
and that Audrin has all of them with him right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Audrin also would mention, like, I've been trying to figure out how to move magic and how to manipulate it in magic items.
Yep.
So my thought is, what if I put all of these into one weapon as a sort of storage? And then what if I was able to put this into Demogorgon's own weapon without him realizing or knowing it?
Yeah,
Would that
the first hole they probably poke in the plan is that they don't think Demogorgon carries a weapon, right? He's a demon lord. He doesn't need anything like that, right? You would have to like put it in him itself, which is obviously a much more difficult prospect. He just attacks people with his, tentacles and stuff.
Does he wear anything?
Probably not. Right? Like normal magic items are kind of beneath demon lords and things.
Yeah.
Like some of them have signature weapons. I suppose plenty of them, like Orcus, for example, has like a wand of undeath that he uses. I don't think Demogorgon has anything. Let me double check his, at the very least, like the typical 5e stat block. I think it's mainly just, he just like has tentacles and a gaze attack, right? He has his like 2 heads that like gaze at you and do things to you. But,
well, maybe I do put it in him. Audrin took a piece of his own soul out and put it in and like made surge with that.
Mm-hmm.
So what if he did the opposite and he put something in?
I think Madoc himself is like, I just don't think that makes sense, Audrin. Maybe, I think the reverse Savage Tide that you have in mind is going to accomplish what you're thinking of here. And putting all of these magical qualities in him itself, if he has an aspect of divinity, it won't work. The effects of even high-level magic items is nothing compared to the aspect of divinity. It would just bounce right off. And the effect that you're looking for, I think, can be accomplished just by the Savage Tide itself. Now, maybe you could put the power of these swords, maybe you can channel that into the Radiant Seeds, but probably not into Demogorgon himself.
Okay.
But you would have to be careful with something like that because you don't want the Radiant Seeds to fight themselves, do you?
Yeah. I guess my only thought was that 4 heads is better than 2.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but given the abilities at your disposal, like I can take magical qualities from one thing and put them in another magic item. He just doesn't have any of those. Like, I think your better bet is maybe to do that sort of thing against his lieutenants.
Yeah.
Right? Get them to fight themselves or each other. All right, Demogorgon himself is probably beyond the ability of that.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think at this point, Sophia probably brings up, you've been inching next to her, Anna, and she brings up to the group. She says, "And this is where we need to come to what I have assumed is your plan, given what you did with the wish. You're going to use Anna's newfound power to activate this reverse Savage Tide. You understand the risks of such a thing?"
I understand there's greater risks if we don't.
Certainly. Anna, do you understand and accept the risks?
I mean, not really, but I'm just kind of assuming there's not really a great other option, so...
Providence says, No, there is not. This is what your destiny has been leading towards all along. And I think Sophia says, there are 2 things that you need to keep in mind if you are to go down this path. One is the danger of ripping out Anna herself altogether. She could lose all sense of personhood, become nothing but the Lady of Pursuit. It wouldn't kill you, but, well, you would cease being you as you've become whatever you did to encapsulate yourself in mortal form, you wanted to do it. And you would lose that if something was to go wrong in this process. Audrin has to know what to use, and it can't be your soul. It has to be the other thing. The other danger, of course, is that the Shadow Pearl itself gets a hold of you, or taints you in some way. It's made of black bile. It's made of eldritch stuff that our enemies, the Devourers, are made, use. You, of course, a match for that sort of thing. You were made to be a match for it, or maybe the causality is different, but all the same, you are at risk. You will have to fight it. It won't all be up to Audrin. And honestly, she turns to Deli at that point and says, and this, of course, might be where you come in. I believe that Zergoth will use this opening, if he senses it, to try to destroy Anna. And and maybe not even that, maybe it will be all he needs to enter the material plane, or the multiverse itself, I suppose. It's a good plan. It has its risks, though. Risks that we must have plans to mitigate. Or at the very least, we must be confident in our efforts to mitigate them. That our efforts to mitigate them will be enough. I think Mikhail at that point says, and that of course brings up the other aspect of this plan, and the steps that we must take to get to Demogorgon at all. Takui, what have you decided concerning Zenea? And Ari purses her lips and looks at you with a narrowed eyes.
My stance on my sister has very much not changed. But Audrin, I think, has found a way for us to trap her and take away her blessing.
Yeah. Now, there's an aspect to this where, all the gods, I assume, know things and have been informed of various things. So I don't know if you surprise them with this plan here, but, they wanted to hear you say it out loud, and that's what you're going to do. And so they kind of nod, and I think we see, Anna, I think you notice Mikhail glance very briefly at Conrad, and then back to the rest of you, and he says, very well. After you've stripped the blessing, do you plan to keep her imprisoned indefinitely in the Iron Flask?
Don't know yet.
I figured we send her out like a Pokemon to fight Demogorgon. No, I'm kidding. Go, Zenea, I choose you. I hate you, sister.
Get back in here. Well, I'll come back to you in a year.
When I've leveled up and beat the next gym, so you'll respect me again.
And I think Takui is kind of honestly, I haven't thought that far. I just want to defeat Demogorgon, and after that, and restore the UNT, and after that, if we even survive, we can discuss what to do with her.
Yeah, and I think that's probably when Ari speaks up and says, yes, that is another thing that we need to discuss. Your plans to revive the UNT race.
What about it?
Do you understand the consequences of this? Do you understand what you will be doing? Certainly Tanakh is not... I have not met very many UNT that I would trust.
Well, same. I've only met one.
And do you believe that this one that you can trust is trustworthy enough to give the power to restore an entire race? A race that has been known to be inherently villainous in the past?
I think they've been this way because of the way that they came about. And I think that's what I've realized more than anything. Is that I wouldn't be reviving the old UNT race. This is really new. It's something that's never been done before. And if I'm to believe that nobody's too far gone, I have to believe that about them too.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh God. Didn't realize I was persuading them of this. Okay. Here we go.
So I have a thought.
Okay. There's nothing I can do here to help myself. Cool. Let's just go for it. Ooh, not great.
Would you like a
19 is
plus
not very
10?
great. Yeah, flash of genius.
How many
I have
of those
10
you
of these
got?
a day. I have 10 a
Okay,
day.
Sure, go for it.
I don't think, unfortunately, a 29 is good enough for what I had in
Oof.
mind here. So I think you see Ari think of something and then decide against it. And instead she says, I do not think that your plan is enough to revive the UNT race. I do not think that the blessing of the sisters will accomplish what you wish. You need something else. Something that your sisters stole in the first place.
The apple.
Yes.
But won't that taint them?
There are two that have been stolen. One, your sister devoured. Somehow. I still don't understand how she lived to tell the tale, but she did something, and now she is immortal. It's possible that what your iron flask will do is strip this from her as well. So it's possible you will have all you need. If it does not, and this may be something that you, Audrin, will have to work out explicitly to allow the iron flask to do such a thing, now that you know. If this does not work, there is still one that Demogorgon has himself, and he is using to connect this new savage tide of his to the entire world. If you can regain that, and yes, untaint it, and maybe your reverse savage tide will be enough to do so, then you will need it to restore the UNT. Certainly, you want it untainted. If you do not use it untainted, then you will create exactly what I worry about. But there may be a way. And there may be a way that will give them a nudge in the right direction to begin with. But you will have to figure that out for yourself.
I think I know how she did it. I think I know how she consumed the apple and would live to tell the tale.
How?
She added vinegar.
Magical vinegar.
Yeah, so you have magical apple cider vinegar.
I mean, that was probably 100% what she did, except it was black bile.
Maybe black bile is actually just vinegar.
It's as simple as that, guy.
Just balsamic vinegar.
Yeah, all of your friends just drowned in vinegar. How embarrassing.
That's a horrible way to die.
Probably, yeah.
You're just getting pickled.
Yeah.
You could say that all of our friends really died in a pickle. Oh,
Get out of here.
Yeah, I
What were
think
you gonna
Army
say,
agrees, and she's like, yeah, if we can't do this the natural way, like, if like the only way to restore the UNT is by the way that they've been trying to do, then like I won't do it. It has to be, a natural way of doing it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So
yeah, if you had gotten probably a 30 or higher, I was going to say that she would offer one to you because she was impressed by your like speech there, and like that you really did believe in them and whatnot. But yeah,
really, Audrin should have just helped.
Yeah, probably. But you didn't. You just were silent. So yeah,
it's okay.
I think it's more interesting this way anyway.
Silent with flash of genius. I don't know how that one.
Just kind of give her an elbow. Yeah. But yeah. Now your plans more generally involved like recruiting various people, right? That was like the next stage of your plans here, right? You were going to try to get, I think the people still on the list were the Lady of Pain, and then you were going to try to turn the various allies of Demogorgon against him, right? Let me find. Yeah, there were several like lieutenants or allies of his that you wanted to try to turn. Specifically, the Lady of Pride, and there are technically demon lords that you could try to turn. There's the Lady of Pleasure, I suppose. And then there are his like lieutenants like Zanaya, Alisan, Xiaofa, some of which would be more likely to turn than others, but some which you might be able to get to turn just by virtue of you're doing your trick with the swords, right? That could be another way of doing it. How explicitly are you talking through that? You said you kind of laid out your whole plan. Is that what you're doing? Okay. As you start talking about like the Lady of Pain and the Demon Lords as possibilities and stuff, you see off to the side Solmarak, the kind of like vengeful angel. He breaks into the conversation and he says, "You're going to ally with demons and evil primordial beings?"
No, it's more like we're going to anti-ally them with each other.
Yeah, Varelian says, oh yeah, sorry, go ahead. So.
I was going to say, that's the good thing. Why, you want to join?
Does Deli say that?
I don't know who this guy is, so not really. No.
This is the vengeful angel that you freed from Divided Dire, the prison.
Maybe say it, why not?
He frowns, he says, "Never. And I am ashamed to be in the company of those who would. It is not... It will taint our hands to even the pretense of allying with such beings. Certainly tricking them into fighting each other, maybe. But what you are suggesting with the Lady of Pain, who has been nothing but trouble for the multiverse since she arrived on the scene, and people like the Lady of Pride, the Lady of Pleasure, demon lords, you're going to try to convince them to, at least in pretense, ally with you, when we should be destroying them on the spot."
Okay, we can just. How about we go destroy them on the spot, and then you can go fight Demogorgon by yourself without their help?
We do not need their help. We have plenty of allies as it is.
If we didn't need their help, then how come you got stuck in that prison by yourself already, and with no one to come help you?
And like the reason for that technically in canon was like, this is when all the gods were dead, basically, and not really in the picture. This is a while ago that he got imprisoned. So
they still haven't come to help and rescue him.
Yeah. I think he basically just says like, the circumstances there are completely different. We have the power now. And he even like looks at the gods and you can tell that he probably doesn't agree with their stance to stay out of it, right? Yeah, he's kind of stewing. Varelian, the kind of more calm angel, is kind of like frowning at him. I think the gods seemed like slightly surprised by the outburst. And like Mikhail looks at you and kind of raises an eyebrow.
Yeah. Trying to think here. How well does Audrey know his history?
I mean, you have a good history score, right?
I do. I have a pretty good history, actually.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Basically, I want to... basically I want to kind of play it as, do you remember what happened last campaign? Is basically we just got a new pantheon.
Sure.
And the whole multiverse was almost consumed by the devourers. Do you really want to go back to that and create the opportunity and jeopardize that all happening all over again? Where were you when that happened?
Yeah, okay.
Because Audrin would know that he was probably alive at that point, right?
Yeah, he was probably imprisoned or alive. Yeah.
So I think Audrin would be like, do you remember any of that? Do you know? Because that, I'm pretty sure that was a bigger issue than what we're dealing with now. And by having them just storm the gates, we're risking that happening again, but worse, because now Demigorgon is also.
Okay, yeah, make a persuasion check.
Would anybody like to help me? Try to calm and persuade this guy? No? On my own?
I don't have persuasion trained to help you. Does Take Me have persuasion trained?
Think he's better at persuasion than Audrin is.
By 1.
Yeah, but still.
So wait, what am I helping you persuade?
It's okay. So we're trying to calm down and the super vengeful angel,
right,
and get him to see reason and why just trying to rush in and kill all of the demons is a stupid idea right now. Honestly, she would be great because she'd be like, "Look, nobody
hates demons more than I do. We're not exactly. If we can get them to do the work for us, isn't that the greatest revenge, to get the enemy to kill the enemy?"
Yeah. You could be able to convince him that that's what you're doing, but it sounds like you're going to be a little bit more. It's really the thing. It's even talking to them seems like too much for him, right?
Well, he won't have to talk to him.
You have to.
Yeah, but you got he has a very. It seems like he has a very pure mindset about this. He's we can't even. The pretense of allying with them is a taint on our souls, sort of a thing, right?
Again, framing it this way, because I don't ally myself with demons either. Would never.
Sure.
Not going to.
And if you succeed, he'll see it that way.
It's just the way you see it, dude. So I think that's what Takeaway has to contribute is listen, I literally have a talking, Dust Crusher literally is in my ear all the time. You really think he would let me ally with these guys? No, we're not allying with them. We are using them.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, if they kill more of each other than they kill us, then I think that's a win.
And then who knows? Maybe after we defeat Demigorgon, we'll go for a victory lap.
Sure. Yeah, you can make the roll with advantage.
You got this, babe.
That was really bad.
That was really bad. I did you see I snuck in Bardicus?
Yeah. Go ahead. Second? D6 right now?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
And then Flash of Genius for 30?
Flash of Genius is a 30. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. That's pretty much what I was going to say, right? I think you needed something like that. Well done. Yeah, I think he probably interrogates you about this a bit more. He wants to make sure that the plan is not to ally with any of them, really, but that you're tricking them. Are there any of the people because I think the big sticking point would be the Lady of Pain. He thinks the Lady of Pain is also just as bad, and that might be the person that you're technically just straight up allying with. So I think it's easy enough to just talk them out and be no, we're just tricking the Demon Lords. No, we're just tricking the Lady of Pride. We just want them to fight each other. But then he brings up the Lady of Pain and he's and she's been talking to Lady of Pain, and what's going on with that? He's been filled on some things or found them out.
I think Orange is
and obviously Anna could speak up for herself at that point, but yeah.
I think Audrin gives a glance over to Surge and then back over at the angel and says,
Yeah.
Nobody has more frustrations with the Lady of Pain out of any of us than I do.
Yeah.
I'm not happy to be working alongside her.
Then
But
don't.
I'm happy to do whatever it takes to put Demigorgon in his place. And I would be stupid to turn down the help that they might be able to offer us. Help that we haven't even acquired yet, and we don't even know if we will be able to.
And then as soon as you're finished, you'll turn on her, you're right? You won't let her secure her power in the ethereal plane like she has been doing? Like we've been letting her do? He looks around at the court. Veralion says, Solmarak, it is not like this. We've discussed this before, right? And then, if you want to say anything more.
I think Audrey just says, look, do you know what happens when you steal from a rogue?
He frowns.
You steal from a rogue. That rogue doesn't let that go. Like that doesn't let that slide. You don't steal from a rogue without consequences.
And you are this rogue?
I want to do a sleight of hand check. Like post like I feel like Audrey would have already have done this, but I want to do a sleight of hand check to see if I could like take something off of him. Like a sword or something that without him realizing it. And then just like hand it to him and say, you tell me. And then just walk away.
What point are you trying to make with that?
She stole my power. I'm not letting that slide.
Well, he might not get that.
I think.
Yeah, your point basically being like, I have a personal vendetta against this lady, and I will help you make sure we do that.
Not quite that, but
because that's
like,
what he needs, right? Like you can tell on his face, he needs that level of commitment to let this. Like otherwise, I think you've done it, right? Like you've gotten a 30. I think he won't make a fuss about it, like in terms of like making the mission fail or anything, right? But he will not like it.
I don't think any of us like the mission. Grow up.
Yeah, you could treat him like that, sure.
Like, dude, like seriously, shut up. Grow up. You're how old? And you're acting like a stupid, spoiled child who's supposed to get his way with every little thing. Shut up. Everybody here is like risking life and limb. Nobody cares about your damn little grievances, kid.
You want to make an intimidation check?
I'll flash of genius that.
Yeah, okay. 29's pretty good. I'm trying to think of like.
I think Takewee's like, whoa.
The thing I'm wondering here is how this comes off to him, because I don't know if Audrin has like a very powerful physical presence. Obviously, you're very smart. You're very good with your words.
Audrin also has the boots that allow him to fly, so Audrin's probably like getting in his face and like hovering over him.
Sure. You know what? I think we can say at that point, like Mikhail probably says, Audrin is right, Solmarak. You are out of place. And I command you to get back in line. And he'll go ahead and just like throw in the last bit that I think narratively makes this like work, right? Because at the end of the day, Audrin, you are much shorter than this giant angel guy, and don't, so I think there probably needs to be some backup that you're given here to actually like make it go through to him finally, because you can see he's about to just like go back at you with like just as much force as you just gave him, and then his like nature as an angel listens to the voice of divinity and just he like stops and he says, "Yes, my lord." And then he turns and walks out of the chamber. And Mikhail, like you turn back to Mikhail and you see him. He's risen from his seat and he has like made his godlike presence. He looks like Grim Reaper-esque, right? Kind of like looming over the chamber. And then he slowly kind of goes back. I'm imagining Gandalf with Bilbo, like, you know, everything goes dark. I'm not trying to hurt you. Help. Not trying to rob you. Anyway, he slowly kind of goes back to normal. And then he says, I think, Esh mutters, that one is going to be trouble. And I think Varelion says, I will be able to keep him in line, I promise you. And Mikhail like nods. See to it that you do. This cannot be jeopardized for anything. I'm sorry that he spoke to you like that, Aldrin.
Auden turns and just shrugs and goes, I'm used to dealing. Well, no.
You had every right to put him in his place like you did.
I think yeah, I don't know what Auden's response is to that.
That's fine. Yeah.
I think Auden's just like coworkers. What can I say?
Yeah, exactly. You're probably just like calming down from it and like, okay.
Yeah, I think Auden's just like, it's not a big deal. Like if he wants to help, then great. But like,
we don't have time for this.
Yeah,
sure.
It's also a little sad that I'm the one that freed him in the first place.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
It's like you'd think that he would show me a little more.
Yep. I think that's a good segue for Sophia to turn to you, Anna, and say, of course, that is what we need to discuss. I believe that your next stop is our sister's domain.
Yes, I believe so.
What do you plan to do? Somrak was out of line, but he's right. Whatever that meme is.
I think I'm just gonna be like, I have absolutely no idea. I'm still trying to understand what it means to be a lady right now.
She nods. We can discuss that now if you wish.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, sisters.
Yeah.
High heels. It means high heels.
My third set of sisters.
Yeah. It's true. Very. Oh man, that's what a good symmetry there. I didn't even. Yeah. Yeah, and obviously there could be other conversations with the Council of Gods as a whole. Is there anything else that I'm imagining that like Sophia and Providence like take you to the side at this point? You go off to talk about this. Is there anything else from the rest of you that needs to be done? Like Deli, you could obviously go talk to Lovrella as well. I'm assuming that there's been like training happening whenever you're together. She's like continuing to teach you about like what it means to be from the Circle of Stars and what you'll have to do and all that stuff, right?
I can't think of anything in particular I'd need to talk with her about.
Yep, that's fine.
Like she's given me the task. I just know I gotta go do it now.
Yep. Probably giving you lots of like mental and spiritual exercises to prepare yourself for that. Sure, yeah. So Sophia and Providence, there's probably a little bit of like catch up of like, here's Providence, she's been off doing something. I don't really know, but she showed up and she sensed that your time had come, right? That something was happening. And Providence, she definitely is very cryptic and mysterious and she also doesn't tell you what she was up to. But just says like, she's needed now sort of a thing. And she says like, I foresee the path that you walk will be a very important piece of what has to occur for Demogorgon to be stopped. And Sophia says, and we are here to answer any questions you have and to help prepare you for what is to come. I can see that you've come into yourself, but as we spoke in the chambers, there is still this difference. And I think you understand the risk, the danger that now has come upon you now that your form has materialized. And I think she probably just comes right out and says, like, what your mechanics also say. You know, she says, if you were to fall in battle, I do not believe that Anna would return. The Lady of Pursuit obviously would. But you would be called back to the place where we were born, and you would change. I don't think either Providence or I know what that would be like, but I don't think it's what we want right now, and I certainly don't think it's what you want. You will have to be careful. You will have to be stalwart in your purpose. You should not turn aside to the left or the right, and I know that I have told you this since the moment we met. Many have been telling you this, and I know that you are probably tired of hearing it at this point, but you really are walking a tightrope. And you will have to be careful. Not only with, as we said, falling in battle, the dangers to this mortal form, which it's possible that if Anna dies, the Lady of Pursuit could still be available to us to fight Demogorgon, for Audrin to do what he needs to do. It's possible that still happens, but I don't think so. I think he'll be lost to us, at least for a time. Whatever you did to manifest like this, you did it intentionally, and I don't think it will stick if you were to fall. But beyond that, you are the Lady of Pursuit. You are supposed to relentlessly pursue evil wherever you find it. And that means this dissonance in yourself. It may prove to be your downfall. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think I can finally see who and what I'm supposed to be now.
Providence smiles. And Sophia says, Good. Good. Then what is your plan for the
To become the Lady of Pain.
Certainly Audrin is correct. We need her assistance in order to accomplish this, but she has her own motivation. She has her own plans, and I fear that they may come to destroy everything that we've worked for before this is all over.
Yeah, I'm not really sure the best way to try and convince her on our side without...
I think Sophia says, I don't think it will be difficult to convince her. I think it will be difficult to understand what she is actually bringing to the table.
Yeah.
What we give her access to is going to be the most dangerous part of all of this. The Lady of Pain is likely going to be the logistics of the entire operation. She controls the City of Doors, the most potent force for transportation the multiverse has. She lives and controls the ethereal plane itself. All teleportation magic technically flows through her hands. And yes, she claims neutrality. She has always claimed neutrality, but she has her own machinations. And when we give her access to the heartbeat of our plans, her influence will be pumped through the body of that plan. And I don't know what it will bring with it.
But I also don't know what we do without it.
Neither do I. I think you need to find out. I think you need to do whatever you have to do to get the Lady of Pain to tell you what her plan is, or to have her let it slip, or even better, one of her agents to let it slip. They are probably the weakest link in all of this.
Got it. Interrogate the agents of pain. Excellent.
Yeah. It's probably the most concrete step you could take in that regard. I know now that her plan with sending you to the Igbaye temple, where you found the power of the Igbaye race, her plan was to manifest you then and there, and I believe that she may have been able to turn you to her side if she had been able to do so. I don't think her plan is to turn you at this point. I think she understands that that ship has sailed, but there is something else. Something that probably still has to do with the power she gained there.
Well, I guess I'll just have to try and find out.
She clasps her hands. Do you need anything from us? What can we do to help you?
Do we have any sort of like sister group chat?
I thought it was gonna be like a sister group hug.
Yeah, I mean,
sister group magical chat that we can talk to each other because we're magic sisters.
I think it's probably easy enough to set something like that up, even if it isn't like an innate part of your being. Like, certainly there's probably a connection that you have to all of them, where maybe like if one of them died or something, you would feel it.
We have an AIM group.
But yeah, they could set something like that up, I think, with like Sophia's power and like all three of you here together. You could probably whip something like that up. That seems perfectly fine. And then you could have access to like help, I need help, right? Give me advice.
What do I do?
Sure, we can say you have
talking to me. Give me advice.
Yeah, we can say you have the equivalent of some sort of like telepathic bond with them. Yeah.
Okay. Is this entire conversation happening like while
I think you guys are still like hashing out plans, and they've gone off to this like to a second chamber or something.
And then it's all three of the sisters, or is it just?
Yeah, all three of them left.
Okay. Because Audryn has questions.
Yeah, and they could probably come back after this, right?
Yeah. And then also, Caleb, I would just want to ask the first boon.
Yep.
Based on like the limit of what it increases, doesn't do anything for me. So
yes, I had a feeling it would. So yeah, it does not have any effect. I'll keep it as it was there.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, basically, if you had gotten this earlier, it would have mattered. But yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm giving you plenty.
Yeah, but I could have had.
Is it really helpful?
It would have given me a 20 wisdom, which would be good for interrogating the agents of pain.
That's true.
I don't think it really does much else because my con bonus doesn't change. It would just like give me better insight because
my instinct was for you to roll a persuasion check against me. But no, you know what? That's fine. You can have it.
Hey, you got a natural 20. Good job.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's not really that big of a deal.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't think it's not going to change my HP or anything.
Yep.
Could you imagine?
I have 20 in wisdom now. I'm so
yeah, that seems appropriate, right?
Okay. I don't know. Is there any? I mean,
they were asking you, like, obviously beyond the telepathic bond, is there anything?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, is there? I mean, any sort of? I don't know what kind of practical help you guys can give, but I would take anything that you guys have.
Yeah, I mean, they probably are imparting some sort of general advice about controlling your powers and stuff. I think it's probably all baked into you understanding the mechanics of your character now, right? Like all of the various stuff that I sent you in that document.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a combination of that sort of stuff. The big thing I think is that thing with the dissonance points, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to get across with.
Yeah.
With that whole thing, it's like if you stray from your purpose, there will be consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. And obviously, if you die. Right. And I mean, up to you, Emily, if we want to like say that we kind of talked around them, we would say them out loud. Okay. I think it'd be fun to read them off.
Yeah. So, my flaws, I get some like little boosts, like nothing super crazy at the beginning. But the first flaw is that my body and soul are bound to the far realm. I have disadvantage on death saving throws as the fall realm attempts to pull me back in. If I would be killed, my soul will be taken back to the far realm. The plane is my new home, and I would become an NPC under the GM's control. If I'm in the far realm, this flaw has no effect. But hey, I don't really make death saves that often, so that's good.
I know, yeah.
So it's the opposite of what Darius had.
Yes.
Is the far realm my now home realm? So if banishment is cast on me, okay. Just wanted to check. Okay, and then
because your creature type changed too.
Oh yeah, I'm an aberration.
Ooh.
I'm a human aberration.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, so then
that charm person won't work on her anymore, I think, right?
Ooh.
Benedict will be happy about that.
And then
oh, true.
That's actually a really cool, succinct plot.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Full circle kind of thing.
Then transformation level 2.
Typically, so I found this is from Grim Hollow. It's like a third-party 5e thing, and it's basically the original thing is a seraph. It's like you're slowly transforming into an angel is the idea here. But then I tweak some of the mechanics and the flavor and stuff. And so you would get these at certain tiers of play, but we just gave it to her all at once because she's already.
Oh, this is what we did with my character in the campaign where her character died.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Then my boon is relentless pursuit. At the beginning of another creature's turn, I can use my reaction to move myself up to my speed or allow an ally that I can see within 60 feet to move up to their speed. Movement made this way does not cause attacks of opportunity. I can use it a number of times equal to my wisdom modifier. So 5 times now every long rest. And then the flaw for this level is my glowing appearance.
So to look like a normal person, she has to concentrate on it.
Yeah.
And if she loses concentration, like anything that would make you lose concentration normally is going to make her appear as like her godly being.
Yeah, in any events of extreme emotional or physical stress, a GM may call for a con saving throw with a DC of their choosing to see if I maintain my humanoid form. So, yeah, upon Caleb's discretion, I get to make a.
I got to figure out an emotionally distressing thing.
Level 3, my boon
Luna
is
coming back to life.
I would do it.
No.
Fighting Luna in the evil place.
I wouldn't even care. I'll just be a glow stick. I wouldn't even fight it.
Yeah, you just do it on purpose.
Level 3, my numinous strike. Whenever I hit a target with a melee attack, I deal an additional 1d6 radiant damage and increases to 2d6 if the target is evil alignment.
So, that's an additional 12d6 damage on all of these demons you're going to be fighting every round because Anna gets a million attacks.
Oh my gosh.
My flaw is I have awakened to my nature as a being of noted purpose and numinous power. Whenever I knowingly abandon quarry I have sworn to pursue, refuse a pursuit because of fear or convenience, deliberately allow someone to escape when I have accepted responsibility for finding them, betray someone who has entrusted me with finding or rescuing another, or commit a similarly grave violation of pursuit, I become spiritually dissonant with my own nature, and I gain 1 dissonant points to a max of 5. Whether the act constitutes a grave violation of pursuit is determined by the GM. Whenever I make an attack roll or make a saving throw against a spell or ability, subtract the number of dissonance points I have from the roll. Whenever I complete a short or long rest and have prayed for at least an hour, I can reduce the number of dissonance points I have by 1.
I guess that was still left over from when you were an angel. I don't know if you necessarily need to pray, but yeah.
I can meditate for an hour.
Yeah, I was thinking meditate.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And then level 4, I had 2 auras I could choose from, and I chose Aura of the Unfaltering Hunt. I emit an aura of relentless purpose. This aura radiates up to 20 feet from me while I am conscious. When me or an ally within range of my aura makes a dexterity ability check to determine initiative, they can add +5 to the result. In addition, on that creature's turn, they gain advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in the combat yet. Once a creature has benefited from this feature, they can't get it again until a long rest.
So basically, she gets to have everybody like sneak attack people and like jump on them and get advantage on them.
Do the like assassinate thing.
Caleb, who's the NPC who has the bow that's like death to my enemies and those who have wronged me?
Nestor,
my boyfriend.
Okay, do we have any lore as to where that bow came from?
I'm pretty sure that his dad had it.
But that's all the lore that we have. Like, no actual origins?
Pretty much, yeah.
What if it is from the Lady of Pursuit?
It very much could be. So, I mean, I always figured that the Lady of Pursuit was a very Artemis-like figure, right? Chaotic good, relentless pursuit of my enemies, right? That's probably at one point she may have manifested as Artemis, right? That may have been one of her past lives. Something like that. So yeah, Birthright could definitely be eventually tied. I think we should probably canonize that because it's very thematically appropriate for Nestor to now have it. For whatever reason, a long time past, the Lady of Pain, or not the Lady of Pursuit, either wielded this or one of her followers wielded it or something like that, right?
And then it was what if it was given to this family by the Lady of Providence?
It 100% was. Oh, for sure it was. Yeah. Duh. Thank you, Jordan.
That's what I'm here for.
Yep. And then what's your last flaw?
My final flaw is Pull of the Far Realm. The Far Realm attempts to draw me back to itself, laying claim to my form. If I roll a natural 1 for a saving throw against a magical spell or ability, I take 1d6 force damage per 2 class levels, in addition to any other damage or effects I would suffer, as the Far Realm attempts to unbind me from the material plane. For example, a 6th level fighter would take 3d6 force damage. This damage ignores resistances and immunities.
So for you, I think it's 96 right now. So you take 96 force damage whenever you get a 1
natural
on
1
a saving throw.
Against a magical spell or ability.
Whoa, that's crazy. That would just like outright kill you, right?
96?
No, not with 96, but it could at a very inopportune moment.
I heard 96.
Not the number 96.
I was like, what?
It's a d6 for 2 levels.
Got it.
About 32 damage on average.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
Could be bad if she gets it at the wrong time.
Plus then whatever
the actual failure would have been for that.
Ability. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
There you go, Lady of Pursuit.
I'm shiny, I sparkly, and I really must kill things that I say I'm going to kill.
Yep.
Or else.
Sweet. So when they come back in then, Audryn, what do you have to talk to them about? Or if anyone else has anything they want to say?
Well, I think Audryn wants, like, in preparation for dealing with the Lady of Pain, I think Audryn just wants some details about ladyship, I guess.
What it means to be a lady, yeah.
What it means to be a lady and because, like, is Audryn aware of any of the negative things with Anna, like the potential of she could die and...
So we had some of that conversation in front of everybody, and it was basically the idea was there's a risk of Anna's mortal coil dying, and she would die, but not the Lady of Pursuit, right? And so then they would be separated, and you wouldn't have Anna anymore.
We wouldn't have Anna anymore, but also the Lady of Pursuit was hidden for a long time.
Yeah.
And at least 2 of the other ladies are still...
So the ones I think there's 3 that you don't know about. Obviously, all 3 of the good ones are here. The Lady of Pleasure is Shami Amore, right? And she went off somewhere after you freed her. The Lady of Pride is Lawful Evil, and she is Lolth, the goddess of the Drow, right? And she's in the Shadowfell, I think, right now, right? Leading the Drow, allied with Demogorgon. And then there's Lady of Pain, who is true neutral. The ones you don't know about are lawful neutral, chaotic neutral, and neutral evil.
Okay. So we don't know where they are. And there's clearly the potential for these ladies to go into this
kind of hibernation state. Yeah.
Primordial hibernation state.
Yep. As far as you know, they can't die. Right? It's impossible for them to ever cease to exist in any meaningful way. They don't have souls. They literally are just always the same. It's just that Anna kind of has a body and a soul and stuff tacked onto it right now. It's kind of weird. Like, honestly, I think Anna right now, instead of being a body, a mind, and a soul, she's a body, a mind, a soul, and whatever this weird fourth thing is all at once, right?
So, interesting. So, is the Lady of Pain the same?
The Lady of Pain doesn't seem to have a mortal form. Like, the ladies that you know about all just seem to be just ladies, and not like whatever happened to Anna is a unique to Anna, right?
Okay.
She is an actual human who's also the Lady of Pursuit, as opposed to the others who are just their divine primordial beings.
Okay, but they can still go into this weird hibernation state.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, when if Anna dies, she will go back somewhere, and
so my real question is, what does it take for a different lady? No, what does it take for a different lady to go into a hibernation state?
Right. How do we shut them down? Yeah. I don't think you know. I think
the other ladies.
Right. So you know how it could happen with Anna. Apparently she did this to herself. She went into hibernation and then like was born as a human. There's a whole thing there. You don't really know how that all worked. She doesn't know. Obviously. I think the thing you know about the other ladies is that they kind of intentionally hid themselves because of the Devourers invading the multiverse and like ruining everything. Whether or not they like fought them first and then this happened, you don't know. We know as players of Terra Nullius that Wisdom showed up halfway through the campaign as this kind of weird, woman named Wisdom who then took up the moon, right? The aspect of the moon. And she was always kind of odd. But she like showed up to help and fight the Devourers again. The others seem to be all hidden at that time. Even like the Lady of Pain, I don't think she was around, right? So it does seem likely that like when the Devourers came, they all hid or hibernated. Maybe they were forced to be that way because of the Devourers. That's possible. And then they slowly started coming back and doing things in the world. Whether or not you know how to make them hibernate, honestly, you would probably have to have the level of power that the Devourers do, right? So maybe you could trick Zergoth to do it. Like maybe if you could find some way to like pit the Lady of Pain against Zergoth, that might be one way to do this.
But then Zergoth having a power.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to have him get access to this plane, right?
My other concern is, let's say, okay, so Audryn's like thinking through the possibilities. Like, Is there a way to like even just temporarily just force hibernate the Lady of Pain? And if that did happen, what does that what happens to the City of Doors?
That's a good question. In regular D&D cosmology, doing something to the Lady of Pain would mean the City of Doors would probably like break apart or cease to exist or something. She's like a integral part of it. I don't think that's the case for the Lady of Pain in our setting. It could be. Like, I don't think you know. It's possible that the Lady of Pain did that intentionally and the City Doors would fall apart without her. You don't think she like found it. You think she built it, right? But whether or not it would stay without her, you do not know. It would depend on how she had built it herself.
Okay.
Another thing that you probably are wondering is it's possible that the other ladies that you don't know about yet are being kept prisoner by the Devourers. That's possible that they're stuck in the far realm and can't actually get to the material plane or the multiverse in general.
If it's possible for them to be stuck in the far realm, then
I think it's very likely.
Then is there a possibility of getting the Lady of Pain to be in the far realm? And what would the implications of that be for the City of Doors and for,
one possibility that you think of, Audryn? I think you think this would probably have to be Anna and Audryn talking about this. So it's up to you, Anna, how much you would share. I guess here's my first question. Anna, how much do you share as they further hash this out? When Audryn starts asking questions about like how the ladies work and stuff, would you offer the information, or at least be okay with Prudence offering the information about what happens when you die as Anna? Like you're going to go back to the far realm, specifically that part of it. Or would that be like embarrassing, or you wouldn't want to share it?
I'm so embarrassed that I would go to the far realm if I died.
Maybe embarrassed isn't the right word, but like, worried about it, or don't talk, say it out loud.
I don't think I would feel weird about sharing that. I think that's
okay.
fine.
Then Audryn's thought probably is this. It's that it's possible that if Anna did a suicide run against the Lady of Pain, she could drag her with her when she returned to the far realm after shedding Anna as the mortal coil.
Audryn wouldn't even entertain that thought.
Okay.
Past the
you think about it, and then it just goes away.
Yeah, like Audryn probably realizes that and knows that, and we'll keep that in the back of his mind as like,
but
I have to make sure Anna doesn't do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think Audryn's like, I have to make sure Anna doesn't do that, or this doesn't get to that point.
And so I really think it comes down to, for you, Audryn, I think you're very confident that the way to do this would be another Veen from the far realm has to be involved, right? Whether it's Anna, whether it's one of the other ladies, maybe you could get the other ladies like the Lady of Pleasure or the Lady of Pride to fight it out and have this happen, but that would be like, you'd have to set up some particular circumstances. Anna could know what she was doing when she did this because you could explain it to her. You wouldn't be able to trick. It would be far harder to trick the Lady of Pleasure or Lady of Pain into doing this. But if you set up like Zergoth or some other like Devourer to fight her, maybe that would do it, because they would intentionally want to bring her back to the far realm, right?
Do we know anything else about the far realm besides it's far?
What do you want to know about it?
I don't know. Like, how do you get to and from there? Is that where we went when we fought the Devourers in Terra Nullius?
No, because what happened? What happened in Terra Nullius? So the far realm is outside of the cosmology of our setting, right? You have
real far.
Real far, exactly. It's the material plane is the center, right? And then, I guess not the center. The material plane is the foundation, and then you go up the ladder to the Feywild, the Shadowfell, the Soul Realm, and the ethereal plane infuses and connects all three, right? At the very top, you have the Soul Realm, and then you see the stars, and those stars in the Soul Realm are the far realm, right? Just like in the material plane, there's a space outside of the planet, and you can go to the stars and go to other planets and stuff. That is basically the equivalent for the Soul Realm. It's very, very, very far away, but technically it's there, right? And somehow the Devourers found a way to get here. They developed FTL or something, right? And they found a way to get here and then tricked the gods into welcoming them with open arms. And what they did was they ripped open the Soul Realm because it was the closest to them, right? And made it their home base for eating and devouring everything in the multiverse. And so when you went to go fight the Devourers, when you went to that like broken apart soul, like starry place, that was the Soul Realm because it had been torn apart. In Terra Invicta, it's rebuilt and things are back to the way they were for the most part, right? And so the far realm is that like distant place beyond.
So what happens if you use Banish successfully on the Lady of Pain?
If you somehow successfully banished the Lady of Pain, I suppose yes, she might go to the far realm. It's possible she set up something that would make at the ethereal plane, for all intents and purposes, her home plane. She, at the level of power we're talking about for her, she could probably do something like that. If she did take preparations like that, then yeah, probably. But the big question is, how do you cast banishment on her in the first place? She would probably just have like an immunity to it or a legendary resistance she could immediately burn, that sort of thing, right?
My thought was maybe like a normal banishment would banish her to the ethereal plane.
But you might be able to do a Jordan Arcana powered banishment.
Or an Anna Lady of Pursuit Arcana banishment.
Don't say anything with me and Arcana in the same sentence, please. Arcana, it'll be I hardly even know her.
What? I could tell that you were trying to form the word at the end.
Connor.
I barely even know her.
Arcana, I barely even know her.
It just still doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It's because
To be fair,
I don't
that
know
thing never had
Arcana.
to work.
That's
True,
why it
true.
doesn't work.
What were you saying?
Banishment, I barely even know her. What?
Mm-mm. But yeah, so that's what you know
What
about
if
the
we
far
give
realm.
her one of the swords?
Again, it was probably a similar thing, right? We're talking about like, because of the way magic works in this setting, right? You have body magic, mind magic, soul magic, ethereal magic, technically. And
What
then you
about
have weird
movie
magic.
magic?
Yeah, well, that's this mysterious sixth thing. No, we have far realm magic, this like weird other thing, which is in a category all its own, right? And most of the time, to affect something, because of that chain, right? To affect something of that level, you need at least that level or higher, right? So body magic typically doesn't do a lot against mind, soul, right? Soul magic can usually be effective against anything, except for this weird fourth thing, which is effective against everything, right? It's like, rock, paper, scissors, except you add a fourth thing, which can just beat all three of them. Except not rock, paper, scissors, but you know what I mean.
You know what? There's another option we haven't considered. We could try to push her super far out via space, right?
If you could get her to the soul realm, that'd be the closest.
Yeah, if we get her to the soul realm, if we get her to the soul realm, or all of the options so far are based on moving her spatially. What if we're not moving her spatially? What if we try
moving her emotionally? Like we read her a really good book?
I don't think she has emotions.
Probably not. If so, the only one is pain.
Yeah. But what if we tried moving her through time?
That's just delaying the issue.
I think I know where you're going with this.
I think Caleb's picked up on my thoughts.
Because if you get her to the soul realm, and then you somehow send her back in time to when the soul realm was part of the far realm, maybe. The thing about this is, and this is the weird thing about our setting, right? Time was really weird when the Devourers were here. It didn't make any sense. There were 374 alternate realities, all with their own time streams, all contradicting each other constantly. The history of the world is so confused because somehow all of them were true all at once. And now with the 374th cycle being the true one, it's still kind of all true. Very confusing. You're not sure that would work because it would, though. So I assume what you're planning here is you're grabbing him.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there's a couple of assumptions being made here, but if we assume that him has the aspect of time, and if, and only if, he is also from the far realm, like the ladies, then it would work. If both of those things are true, like you suspect that they are, then yes, as far as Audrun understands, that would be what you would need. As long as you can get the Lady of Pain to the soul realm, that could be accomplished. Yes.
And if him does not have the aspect of time, then we could get it to him. If we could figure out a way to get it to him.
The big thing here would be confirming that he is indeed some sort of eldritch being like the ladies or the Devourers.
And being able to convince him to, because I'm pretty sure he's, because I'm pretty sure he's in leagues with the Lady of Pain, correct?
No, they actually, I'm pretty sure the Verdict and the Blood Sisters do not get along.
Oh. So it wouldn't necessarily be hard to convince him of this.
The big thing would just be that whatever risk there is to himself, right?
Right. We also need to find we haven't gone to find Akashi.
We have not done that yet either. Yeah.
We gotta go find Akashi.
Mhm.
Maybe we do that. Maybe we talk to him about this plan after we find Akashi. Maybe he has some sort of breakthrough thought about the whole thing. I don't know.
Yep.
Either way.
It's a pretty brilliant plan if your assumptions are correct, which I'm not confirming they are, and Audrin has no way to confirm that they are currently.
Yeah. I think.
But you're part of the verdict, so you can just ask him.
Well, yeah. So I think the people that Audrin is going to first discuss this with are Mikhail and the two other sisters that are here, and not really necessarily discuss this with Anna yet.
Okay.
But I think Audrin will probably bring.
There's obviously a longer sequence here where everybody's having secret meetings and
Yeah. So I think, but yeah, we can come back to that.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay, is there anything else that we need to hash out with the gods before we wrap up? I think from here, it would be, you do want to find Akashi. You want to, technically the Lady of Pride is here in the Shadowfell somewhere. So if you wanted to turn her against Demogorgon, you're already here, so you could do that. The ethereal plane is the easy one to do at any point, and that was, I was assuming that would probably be the next step, especially because Anna has kind of come into herself. But then from there, you technically also have the Soul Realm. You could stop by and try to convince any number of demon lords or other Soul Realm folks to try to turn against Demogorgon. But I mean, at that point, that's pretty much it. Then it's just finalizing the plan and actually putting it into motion. Now, the plan itself has a lot of pieces, so I imagine it will take several sessions for us to go through those pieces one by one, fight so many different lieutenants and other enemies, right? There'll be a big thing there for sure. But, and again, you don't have to do any of this, the allies thing. It's really up to you how long you want to spend getting which allies. Obviously, the Lady of Pain seems to be pretty central to the plan, but honestly, after you get the Lady of Pain, you could just go for it. You don't have to talk to any of the Demon Lords. You don't have to talk to the Lady of Pride even. You can just do it.
I think talking to the Lady of Pride at the very least is in there for me, but other than that, I don't really care to talk to any of the other Demon Lords myself, but I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I think the main suggestion I had, when I think it was Audrin who asked specifically, which Demon Lord do I know would be a good choice? There is Orcus, the Demon Lord of Undeath, who is nearby. He's in a neighboring part of the Soul Realm, relatively, and has legions of undead and things that he could bring. And he has a rivalry with Demogorgon, so that could be one that you could try to turn against him. And then there's the lieutenants was the big thing. If you had any particular. And your sword idea was one of those things that could be involved there.
Well, yeah, because I think part of the thing was we wanted to create some sort of tension for Demogorgon to be able to distract him, because if it's just us going at him, he'll kind of expect it. But because of his dual nature, if he also has
yes, that was the weakness that Shami Amore shared with you, was that because of his dual nature, every response that he has, every stimulus comes with 2 responses instead of 1. And especially if you have allies turn on him, he will not be able to, his reaction time will slow down massively, and he will be paralyzed by all the decisions he's having to make and respond to. And it will definitely throw him for a loop. So yeah, getting at least one person to betray him is a good plan.
That's why I was saying start with the Lady of Pride specifically.
Lady of Pride is a good one, especially because she's a lady, right? And it's already involved. If you don't want to deal with demon lords, then this is at least slightly better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that probably what we have here is a session to go to the Lady of Pain, a session to go to the Lady of Pride, and a session to deal with verdict stuff, including meeting up with Akashi, maybe talking to him and having Audryn try to convince him of this plan. Right? That all could probably be one session. And I think that might be it. I think it might be 3. Because at that point, it's just like, unless you wanted to go into it like a demon lord.
We're not ready to fight Demogorgon yet.
Well, keep in mind, once we finish this adventure, you will officially be leveled up to level 20.
You're just children, I tell you.
And
I'm just a girl with sisters. So many sisters.
So many sisters.
He's just a small demigod.
I think the thing we probably want to figure out at this point is, do you want to go to any of the demon lords? That would be the only other question. The answer could very easily be no.
I mean, I think if we can't convince the Lady of Pride, then maybe
a backup might be.
Yeah.
That makes
Or
sense.
if it
And,
becomes
honestly,
easy or convenient.
Sure. Hey, here's a thought though. If you go to the Lady of Pain first, you could try to have her help you convince the Lady of Pride too, right? That might be a good way to do it. Lady of Pain is more apt to join you anyway. And then she might have some ideas on how to do that.
Makes sense. Get the lesser of 2 evils to join us first, and then get the actual evil one to join us.
Actual just straight up evil. Yeah, exactly. I actually have an idea to tie Akashi in to something in here too, so we might be able to actually double up. Depending. But okay, cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to consider here.
I wanted to have a meeting with Audryn.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I would take him like off to the side, like privately. We're like, I mean, I'm sure people have their eyes on us, but I mean, like, as private as we can get in the Court of Stars. And I just like look out, I'm sure it's beautiful here. It's like really, really pretty. And we would just like take Audryn's hand and be like, so I don't think there's like a perfect time to like do this. Maybe it's supposed to like happen somewhere where we're safe. Maybe after we've defeated Demogorgon and we know that we have the rest of our lives ahead of us. But I feel like that's just not us.
Audryn, like before she even finishes, will get down on one knee.
That's what I was gonna do.
Sorry, Tegui.
Well, it could be that they do it at the same time.
Well, she wasn't gonna get down on a
fails
knee.
at initiative again.
She wasn't gonna get down on a knee, but
Yeah. You're gonna ask. Yeah, it sounds like Audryn's doing it. Actually, I do love the idea that like you failed the initiative roll in that moment, and that is so poignant.
The thing, okay, you know what? Here's what Audryn does. I think Audryn says, "Takewee, I would have done this a long time ago if I could have found a ring that was suitable for you."
My culture, we don't really do rings, but that's really sweet.
Audryn like turns to the side and says, "I need to brush up on my
Yeah, if I'm married into this culture, I need to know what I'm gonna. Yeah,
I need to understand this culture a lot better."
Takewee says, "We just do a firm handshake.
We just do a really firm
Put her
handshake.
here, buddy."
That's how we do everything, actually. Yeah, I think Audryn actually just that even says, "Well, that would have been good to know a couple months ago." Anyway, the only reason I'm here today is so that I can spend the rest of what I have after all of this with you.
I think it's anything to do some more.
No, I'm proposing to my boyfriend right now.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, honey.
Okay, he says. Wow.
Flex on me, why don't
I need
you?
to leave the room.
This is why I don't do.
Mhm. Of
See
all
what
the
you do.
times for Ryan to walk in.
I know. It's like, hi, babe.
Funny story.
Anyway, she just, it's just like, I don't know how much longer we have. I don't know if one of us will survive, if we'll both survive. But Audrey, I want to be tethered to you for the rest of my life. I've spent my life running towards the next thing and the next thing, running away from myself. And then somehow you became the person that I just want to come back to each time. And so I want to vow to stand by you. Not because I think that nothing can hurt us, but because I know that whatever comes, I want to face it with you. And I want to go in as your wife. So whatever the gods choose to give us, whether it be today, tomorrow, I just want to be with you.
Serge comes over. As a licensed paladin, I can cast ceremony.
I think. We have had to make a lot of decisions in the past. How long has it even been since the campaign started? Like
Months, not a year yet.
Yeah.
I think we started in December of the previous year.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So I think, yeah. I've had to make more decisions in the past few months than I've had to make my entire life. And you're the reason I've had the ability to make those decisions. Some of those decisions have been hard. Some of those decisions have been the wrong decisions. Some of them I've questioned and wondered if I did the right thing, made the right call. I've always second-guessed myself. But you are the easiest decision I could ever make. Yes, absolutely, infinitely, and eternally.
So you want to do this now?
You literally have a pantheon of gods here.
I think Audrin looks around and he's like, I don't think there's a better place in the multiverse to do this. Swear ourselves before the gods to be there with each other and for each other.
Can't ask for better witnesses than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really good. Yeah.
You come over and tell us that you're getting married right now?
we just go straight to Mikhail and says, so you know what, you know someone who can officiate a wedding right quick?
Yeah, he
What if
frowns.
Dad's officiating our wedding?
Yeah, he says, well, usually I'm not the god that people ask for this sort of thing, but I suppose Conrad is here.
Oh, we should go to should we go to Arya?
Yeah, Arya would probably be the more appropriate choice,
Yeah,
but
yeah. So I think we'll probably I think Audrin asks Takewee, so should we go to Aria and get have an official ceremony with all the ones that we know and love who also happen to be with us right here and now?
Yeah. Let's do that.
I just like to think that they haven't said anything, and maybe I just glance over and with my insight, I'm like, stop it.
Oh no,
Stop
something
it.
just happened. Something just happened. Yeah, I honestly think that I'm trying to think.
Besides, who else can say that they got married in the Court of Stars?
Right, yeah, it's
there's one other
honestly,
couple.
There probably is a more beautiful place to do it too, right? There's probably whatever more particular garden-esque area, right, that you could all go to. I am trying to think of who actually officiates it though. I don't think it would be Ari herself. I think the gods are probably going to be witnesses, right, to this wedding. The three people I think it could be would be
Benedict do it?
Yeah, it would be Benedict, Conrad, or Serge would be the most likely candidates for officiating
Our
this wedding.
son officiating our own wedding.
Well, what do you think? It would probably be you asking, right? So who do you?
I feel like Benedict is the most
That makes the most sense.
churchy.
Yeah. He's probably the most archetypal character for that sort of thing. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Conrad's a god of he worships a god of death. Serge is a weird Warfetch paladin. Whatever. Yeah, that makes sense. Benedict is primarily focused on order, right? So vows and oaths and things. That seems appropriate, right? Sure. Yeah. So I think you go over and ask the gods to witness and Benedict to officiate. Immediately all the goddesses are like, and they start halfing out and stuff. And Michaela's like, well, we did have a war to plan for, but I suppose yes, we can do that.
He's like,
who cares about war at a time like this?
He's probably thinking well, I guess I did this 100 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Eerily familiar. I feel like there may have been, I don't know, it's there's a connection to this. Take me to my wife. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, I think you find a good spot in the Garden City to have this ceremony. Benedict is very. He seems honestly cheerful and but appropriately serious about it. He takes it pretty seriously and has the proper oaths and vows to give. So I mean, I guess if you don't have a ring, what do you do besides vows? And how do Anna and Deli respond to this?
I'm holding Esther and being like, this is so romantic. And
Nestor's standing there thinking oh, should I propose? Should I be proposing?
And I'm crying. I'm so happy for them.
I really hope they don't throw a bouquet or anything.
Oh, you know what? They're probably are all the goddesses helping Takewee get a dress?
Oh, for sure. I mean, they could probably just snap their fingers and do something, right? You're literally in the Court of Stars. They can just magic all of this into existence.
I think, okay, so I think the last time we were here, Audrin wanted to go to a library and went to a library to read stuff.
Yeah,
I think he's going to rush back to that library right now and read.
quick study up on that. Yeah.
On whatever the cultural way to do this is for.
Sure. As Takewee is whisked away by the goddesses to prepare for this, right? Yeah, Audrin. Yeah, exactly. Jordan, go ahead and make a history check for me with advantage for the library. It's a good thing you had advantage, my dude.
Yes, it is. Does
all right, Takewee, what is it?
Do anything here?
I don't think we have decided what the Tlachanoli marriage ceremony is like, or what symbols they might have. We could do a quick Goog and figure out what the Mesoamericans did. Mesoamerican.
A quick Goog.
A quick Goog.
Just a tinge of a quick Goog.
Just a quick Goog, my dude.
Let's see what pops up. Okay, yeah. Oh, interesting. Tying the Tilmatli, the knot. They were literally sealed by a matchmaker who tied the ends of the bride's blouse and the groom's cloak together. This physical tying of the knot symbolized the permanent intertwining of their two lives and destinies. You could also exchange corn.
With all the corn we have laying around, I think that's the one.
Very true. Very true. I like the idea that there's some sort of like tying of fabrics together or something, right? Something along those lines could be cool. Let's see. Maybe it's just this. Let's just have it be like some sort of like piece of cloth that they tie around both of your wrists and then tie you together. And obviously you undo it after you like the Marriage Army is done. But let's say, symbolic little tying in together of the two of you.
Caleb.
What?
I have an idea to make this a mechanical kind of thing.
All right.
Where my wrist thing?
Yes. Full deck.
Full deck. What if I reworked
stab your bride? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
What?
No. Yes, I'm gonna stab. No. What if because that's a wrist thing.
It would be on your wrist, yeah.
What if I work it so that is tied around our wrists,
and how?
And then we both get half of it. So then we each have half of the. I don't know what that would necessarily.
Yeah, I don't think that makes sense.
Okay, never mind.
Given what it is, it's fine. But yeah, I don't think it needs to be anything more than it is. It's probably just a symbol more than anything.
Okay.
Right? But yeah, cool. And then Benedict has you read your vows off, and everybody is there. Obviously, the gods are witnessing. I guess obviously you guys are there, and like the NPC allies of yours. But I don't know if there's anyone else prominent that is here currently.
Audrin's there, and he shows up, and everybody else is like all dressed up because they've been spending time like getting ready, and Audrin's just like, and then he like uses his changing suit to like
yeah. Perfect. Love it.
So like I like Iron Man style, just like now I'm in a suit.
Mm-hmm. Deli,
or whatever is culturally appropriate for.
I mean, I did. It kind of got passed over.
Sorry, yeah, that's why I'm coming back to you.
Never mind. It's fine. It's getting late.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think it's about it then. I think we see that ceremony take place, and it's probably where we end our session. It's as good a place as any.
Not gonna have a wedding right before Seth's wedding.
True. Oh, very true. I'm not gonna, have anything crash your wedding or any sort of cliffhanger happen here. I think we can end on a happy note.
Devourers come back.
Mm-hmm. And then it was all a dream, and we're back 2 seasons. It never happened.
Only 2 seasons? That's not actually
generous. You forgot to save. Sorry. Yeah. Cool. I think that's our session of Terra Invicta, and I think this is it for Terra Invicta for a little while, and then next time we can go to Lady of Pain, and then we can go to the Lady of Pride, and from there, I think it's Endgame.
Crazy.
Remind me, Seth, after your wedding is all done and, things are less crazy and stuff, we do need to talk more about, like, deli stuff, because it's been very deli light recently. And I haven't been able to think of a whole lot to bring in because Deli's just kind of preparing for her big thing.
Preparing for standoff with daddy issues.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we'll get into the end game soon here and be able to knock those dominoes down. But yeah, if you have any thoughts between now and then about any other things you guys want to get up to. And then, we'll pick back up after Seth gets married.
Love.
And you just let us know, Seth, whenever you want to return.
We'll see.
Yep.
It's
after.
Yeah, exactly. We'll worry about that after you are good and married.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds good. I think that's it from Terra Invicta here. Thanks for playing, guys. That was fun. Adios.